When it comes to exploring the world and interacting with things that you're interested in, I've seen a couple of extremes in how people learn. There are those that view it as a playful, creative activity where they're connecting things together, they're taking ideas, maybe even creating new things out of those ideas, sharing those with others. And there's those that might struggle to keep those ideas front of mind, to be able to connect and synthesize the ideas, and it can become a bit of a frustrating process. And what's more, that could be the same person, depending on the subject, depending on what they're trying to learn, and depending on the available resources. In this video, I'd like to share with you a 6-step process that I like to use whenever I'm learning something new. It's a process that respects creativity, but it also uses tools that will allow us to speed up the process of discovery. Hello everyone, if you're new here, my name is Frank, and on this channel, we look at ways that we can use technology to learn and teach more effectively. I have a master's degree in learning and technology. I've taught thousands of students over several years. Let's take a look at the 6 steps that I like to use as I'm learning something new or as I'm preparing to teach others. Now, the cool thing about this process is that we can use new tools like artificial intelligence to speed up and make each of the steps more effective, which means we can learn more or we can explore things in more depth. Step 1 is to come up with an idea of something you'd like to learn or explore. For some people, this is not a problem, brain on fire, always thinking of different things that they want to learn about. But we want to be able to look at a topic and ask ourselves, what is a creative approach to exploring this topic? Or what is a way that I can narrow down my focus on this topic so that I can really begin to understand an aspect of it? In this case, there are many things you can do. There's the traditional, you can go for a nice walk, you can take notes, sit in a bathtub, whatever the case may be. I, for a long time, would use things like decks of creativity cards. I still use these. Or we could even use a tool that uses AI to help us narrow and refine our question. In this video, I'll be demonstrating a lot of these steps using Scrintal. They're sponsoring this video. Scrintal is a tool that I use for a lot of my research, a lot of my creativity, a lot of my connectivity, for all of the steps within this process. So in step 1, I'd like to find an aspect of a subject that I can explore in more depth. During the ideation phase, I want to come up with some questions that I'd like to explore a little bit deeper on topics that are interesting to me. So let's say I was at a conference and people were talking about virtual reality in education. I could go to the AI assistant and I could ask the AI assistant. Now, I've got this question here, and it's going to go through. I can send that into the AI assistant, and it's going to go and look at different types of things that are relevant when it comes to using virtual reality in education. This will help me refine my idea and narrow down exactly what I'm going to study at a specific period in time. So you can see here, there's all sorts of things. I can just drag over what the AI generated here. This will allow me to have some very interesting things that I could study. So I can go in and put in a more refined question based upon what the AI produced for me, and I can continue to refine my question so that I can really focus in on exactly what it is that I want to explore in step 2. In step 2, I'm going to start gathering a lot of research papers, literature reviews, articles, anything that can help me understand the question that I refined in step 1. But here's where things get very interesting with AI. Scrintal will allow me to import various PDFs and start breaking them down and generating notes from those PDFs. I can also use AI to generate a lot of these articles. If you're interested in that, I'll post a video somewhere here on how I use a tool called Answer This to generate literature reviews. I can then take the PDFs and bring them into Scrintal and have them broken down into notes. Let's take a look at doing that. I'm able to use a new tool called Gobu AI that will allow me to upload PDFs that I can then create Scrintal notes from. And the best part is I can just use my Scrintal account, and Gobu and Scrintal integrate with each other perfectly. I've logged into Gobu AI using my Scrintal account, and you'll see all of my Scrintal boards are here. I'll create a new board. In this case here, I'll do an article analysis, but I could also do a smart summary so I can get better understanding and refine my questions even further. Let's go ahead and do an article analysis, and I'm going to upload a PDF that I created as a literature review. Again, I'll post down below the tools that I use to create literature reviews. It'll upload into Gobu. And what's really interesting is Gobu uses AI to break this article down, give me a lot of information about what's found in the article. I could even download several articles, and then I'm going to be able to bring that right into Scrintal. I can just work with it here in Gobu if I like. There's a lot of things I can do, further reading, lots of help here. If I'd like to bring it over, I bring it over to take it to Canvas. And now you can see I'm on my Scrintal canvas here. I can look and see everything here that was from the Gobu AI analysis. And I can go to step 3, which is starting to add my own notes and making connectivity. So for example, if I take a look at the research question, maybe I want to go in and I want to create a note in here. I could choose any of the different types of notes. So I'll do a text paragraph note in here, and I can begin building up my thoughts and ideas about the information that I have and the question that I want to explore. This is very powerful. Of course, I can use all of the different tools that Scrintal has in here to make those notes rich and exciting, and so that I can start being creative in how I'm analyzing the analysis that was initially done by Gobu. The 4th step is connectivity, looking for patterns, looking for how one thing relates to another, taking my ideas, my thoughts, and connecting them back to source. This is really one of the more powerful features of Scrintal. I really enjoy the fact that I can start connecting not just one element of research, but multiple elements of research together. Because it's when I start putting things together that I see patterns, gain insight, and I can get creative. Scrintal is really good at connectivity. It's one of my favorite aspects to Scrintal, although you can see why it's my favorite note-taking app. If I go into Scrintal, I can use connector objects in order to connect objects together, and that will allow me to be able to navigate relationships. But beyond this, I could also go in and use text boxes and create links. So there's all sorts of different links that I can put into linking to other documents and boards and files. And what's really nice is if I link something like a YouTube video into Scrintal, I can play it right within Scrintal. So you can see there that it's going to allow me to really understand how things relate to each other. But it actually gets better. If I use the AI assistant, I can drag a block, let's say from this conclusion that was generated when I put the article into Gobu, and I can say, here are my conclusions, and I'm going to drag that block into the AI. There are some suggested questions you could ask the AI, but I'm going to go in and put in my own question in here, where I'm going to say, using the conclusions, generate 3 potential student activities using VR in education. And I'll go ahead and allow the AI to do that. But it's not just one way. It also comes back the other way. When the AI goes in and generates these activities, it'll create blocks of text that I can then bring back into Scrintal. I'll just go in and make a little bit of room for those to come in, and I can make room either by zooming in, zooming out, or by moving the canvas around. But you can see I've got these activities. So now I can go in and I can take these activities and I can drag them into my canvas, into my board, and I'm going to be able to create connectivity for each of these activities into a specific document, into maybe I'm going to create Word documents or PDFs of these activities. I'm going to relate them back to the research from where they came. I'm really going to be able to create a comprehensive, interconnected overview of what it is that I'm trying to learn. A powerful feature, which will bring me to step number 5. Step number 5 might seem optional, because really we've done quite a bit. We've developed a question, we used AI to refine the question, we went and grabbed a bunch of resources and brought them together, even created some resources of our own. We then took notes and generated notes on those resources, and then we connected everything together. It's easy to think that we're done, but I think step number 5 is a really important step to develop really good understanding of a topic, either as a student or as an instructor looking to teach, and that is to get creative, to build something, to generate a product from what we've done. And we can do this by going through and looking at our notes, looking at the connectivity, and starting to write our own document or create our own video or create our own website, whatever it is that we're going to do. By working with what we've just done and building something from it, I think we're going to be able to understand it more effectively. It could be just creating presentations, or we could create an entire online course. And the final step in this little 6-step process that we've been talking about today is to share what you've just created. If you've created a blog post or a paper or a PowerPoint presentation or any presentation, or you've created a video, whatever you've done with the knowledge that you've gained, by sharing it, you're going to be able to invite others to learn what you've learned, to contribute with their knowledge, helping you learn even more in depth the thing that you're interested in learning. We can go into Scrintal and we can actually go into our boards, and with any of the boards we have, we can go in and we can share that with other people this way, so we could all contribute on a board together. Or you can, because it's markup language, you can cut it from Scrintal and put it into another tool to share it, like a blog post would be an example of that. But by sharing, you're going to develop a community around the things that you're interested in and that you're learning. And I highly recommend that. In fact, if you'd like to share a comment down below, go ahead and do that. And if you'd like to share this video with other people that might benefit from it, well, you can do that as well. I also have memberships here on the channel now. That's something that I've just recently started, and feel free to check those out. They're not all that exciting, but they do support the channel. There's a badge and stuff like that. I'm not really selling it that hard, but the point is that by sharing and integrating into a community, you're going to be able to understand things more effectively. You're going to be able to share your knowledge, and you're going to be able to receive the knowledge that others share with you. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.